Hello everybody. Bought a couple things on eBay. I want to show you two of them. That heater control, because the one I did have was missing a few parts and the switch didn't work. This is the one that's for this car. It's missing that bezel that goes around that, and it's missing the fan speed switch. I mean, the switch is here, but the top one that runs your fan speed too. So I was missing that piece. The other option was to put a multi-position switch underneath that and just have it on a toggle switch, and I just didn't want that. But I picked that up and a couple other small things. Something I don't remember ever showing you is a couple months ago I bought some front end trim for this car. Headlight bezels and fender extensions and stuff. Had some, but they were in worse shape than this, and the one that I had over here was an original Malibu one. And there's a difference between Malibu corner trim and Super Sport. Malibu, there's no black on any of this. Super Sport, they have black inserts. And bleached out or not, to me, it's better than new, because if you paint that, it's going to look like you painted it. If you leave it alone, it's less obvious to me. Plus, you know, it's what I wanted. I didn't want new chrome. So the grill is also an original SS grill, but I've had it on it. But Malibus have holes here. There's no holes there. There never hasn't been any holes there, but somebody painted the grill. I also have the stuff for this side, but I can't put any of that on it until I primered that. But I put the bumper on it. Two of the bumper brackets are off the red 67, and two of them are off of that blue Malibu. I used the best of two bumpers to mount that bumper, and then that bumper is also a little bit bent, so everything's kind of off a little bit, but it's as good as it can be, and me still have an old bumper. I'm wanting bumper guards. I'm going to mention this again in case somebody on here happens to have a set of them. I'm wanting bumper guards, front and rear bumper guards. Most of the time they were on Malibus, but I want them because they look better to me on these cars, and because Dad's car had them. Alright, so I painted a grill cowl, induction cowl vent piece of panel, whatever. I painted that because once I fix the wipers, which is just hooking up a linkage and doing something about this, I can put that back on and leave it on. I put the taillight panel, the taillight housings back on, and I painted the taillight panel. I had redone the bodywork on the taillight panel because a couple spots were showing up that I didn't like. Now, I have decided that I'm going to do this a little different. And chances are, about the next time you see this car, this will have already been done. But the car is not stock. It's a long way from being stock. So since it's not stock, I don't see a reason to leave the taillight panel the way it should be. That should just be solid black. Just like this. I'm going to do a fade back here. Maybe even lace, because I want it to be different. The car, like I said, is not stock, and I can always go back and paint that later. But just to see what it looks like, and to see if I'm going to like it or not, I'm going to do the black fade back here on this thing. So I did this as just kind of a quickie to see what that's going to look like on this fender that I'm not going to use. And it'll be a little bit better than this, but this is just literally a quickie with base coat. I didn't even sand that. Just an outline like that. And the car, if you look, this is the original driver's side corner of the quarter. If you see here, all the paint's gone off of this. But here, the paint's still on this. It's still on this because this was cleared. This wasn't cleared. So you had your black fade. That's what the car's going to look like too, but the tail panel is going to have a really narrowed up version of that. The black's going to be close to each other, top and bottom. There's only going to be a tiny little gap of blue in the middle that's not got any paint on it. The fade, in other words, it's going to be real tight. Also, you may notice that the taillight bezels aren't black anymore. Those are also originals. Original Super Sport. So, front bumper's on it. I want to put the back bumper back on it. Yeah, that's really all I've got to show you. It's on this car for now. I'm going to show you something else that I'm going to work on for the next week or two or three. I may make a few videos of that too, and I kind of hope you enjoy it. You know, my channel's full of Chevelle videos between the 70 and the 67. And it's got some Metro videos between all the ones I've messed with for the last couple of years. And a couple other oddball things. This is a 2012 Fiat 500. My mom calls it a flat. And to give her credit, I mean, that does look like flat. But car's got 120,000 miles on it. It came out of Greensboro, North Carolina. It's got a blown head gasket. We bought it knowing that it's got a blown head gasket. And it actually did a fairly good job at making it 225 miles home. And it didn't really ever get hot. But since it's gotten home, the head gasket has gotten worse. And we got it fully knowing that we were going to have to do something to it. But all together, we drove it about 400 miles. And then it's gotten to the point now to where it overheats if you let it sit still and don't move. It keeps blowing hoses, and the head gasket's just gotten worse. It might even crank up on 2 or 3 cylinders. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it did. So, we have another one up here. Been setting up here for about 2 years. that had 50,000 miles on it. The car was totaled in a head-on collision and not got a straight panel on it. So the plan is to take the engine out of that car and the engine out of this car, put that engine in this car, you know, the whole parts car thing, and I'm going to do it outside. Flat. I actually prefer to saying, fix it again, Tony. I'll see us again next time. Bye.